Okay, it's that time of the show. We call it
Around the Movie Block with The Rock.
What's cooking on this week's movie review? Rocco Pasafume.
Thank you very much, Howie. I've decided I'm going to be switching gears this week and going from the theater to right in the comfort of your own home. This movie I'm doing this week is a Netflix original. It is known as Dumplin'. It is directed by Anne Fletcher, and it stars Jennifer Aniston and Danielle McDonald. It tells the story of Willow Dean Dumplin' Dixon, played by Matt McDonald, who is the plus-size daughter of Rosie, played by Aniston, who is a former beauty queen who signs up for her mother's Miss Teen Bluebonnet pageant as a protest, and then other contestants start to follow suit in her footsteps, revolutionizing the pageant and their small Texas town. What's been very interesting about Netflix in the past year or so is we've seen an upsurge in teen movies from them. I mean, mostly we've seen Netflix do shows, do TV series, but now they're getting into the habit of cutting into movies. And that's been very, very good because most of the movies, if you notice, a lot of what's come out of Hollywood in the last couple of years has mostly been remakes, sequels, superhero movies, or otherwise like special effects, extravaganzas. And these kind of smaller, more traditional type of movies, you don't really see too many of in the theaters anymore. And then you have Netflix, which is a platform that everybody knows, everybody subscribes to it, and there's this instant accessibility that comes from having a movie on Netflix. So this is the type of movie that years ago, probably like in the 90s particularly, would have been out in the theaters, I believe. The director has done theatrical movies before. She's done The Proposal and she's done 27 Dresses. And this particular movie is sort of up there with those types of typical chick flick kind of stories. But this is definitely a good movie in a sense that it offers something that we have not really seen before. And it's a very timely type of movie because a lot of what people have complained about out of Hollywood is that you've seen too many movies that revolve around pretty people, that have revolved around these perfect types of, people. And they feel like people that are different are kind of underserved in stories. So you get a chance to see a plus-size person have a center starring role in a movie and have it be somebody that, definitely bucks stereotypes and all that. And I think that with this type of story, it creates a very entertaining kind of movie in this kind of structure. The actors are very good. Jennifer Aniston, of course, is fantastic in this movie. Danielle McDonald, who's done Patty Cakes, which was a theatrical movie, she's very good in this. And what adds to the really feel-good aspect of this movie is that the songs in this movie, this is a musical, so Dolly Parton provides all the songs in this movie, so it definitely has that kind of feel-good vibe that she always brings to her movies. Some of the songs are original songs composed specifically for this movie. Some of these are her old songs that she's done for other things. But overall, this is the kind of teen movie that I think has definitely not been something you've seen in quite a while. So yes, there are movies that have this has similarities to. One particular one that comes to mind would be Sandra Bullock's Miss Congeniality. But overall, I think if you're a teenager particularly, or if you're somebody who likes women-centered movies, I think that there'll be much that you will appreciate about this. I think, like this kind of a female-centered story that you feel like it makes perfect sense to have Netflix kind of get in the mix of, to have a kind of movie that, like you said, you don't see too much of this in the theatrical movie district. And this really gives Netflix a great purpose, beyond doing just television series, and just pushing the envelope content-wise, giving people something that stands out as a form of great entertainment, and this definitely delivers. It definitely has a great cast, and, it has a feel-good vibe, and it's a very empowering story, and I think particularly a lot of young women will really appreciate this type of movie, regardless of the kind of familiar tropes that you see with this type of story. So overall, I give Dumplin' 3 out of 5 stars, and you can check it out on your Netflix right now.
Okay, we cap up our final show of the year here at Pancho's Cantina, our home. We love Pancho's. Our next show is the 22nd of December at our friend Joe Satriano's house in Oceanside as we celebrate Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's Eve all in one shebang. But today was a very fascinating show. A lot of reasons. We had Master Vincent talked about yoga and especially pranayama. Very fascinating individual. We really hope you enjoy his segment. It's definitely something a little different for our show. But I said this during a break, but I believe this to be so true. That my philosophy on life is a journey, and on our journey, it's just so much more interesting when you meet interesting people and you learn new things along our journey. And today was a very fascinating exchange with Mr. Vincent. He was great, Master Vincent. He was very, very inspirational. And we also had another special guest, our friend Mayor Minch's mom, Esther Minch, Grandma, and I'll tell you, that was Esther. You really are an inspiration. Esther talked about during the holiday season a few years ago, she thwarted a burglary in her house, and when the crisis happened, when she was faced with a burglar with a large knife in her hand, she was cool, calm, and collected, and she averted what could have been a very tragic situation. She had calm under pressure. Very inspirational segment. Esther, thanks for sharing, and I'm sure you'll never forget it, and we really were inspired by your segment. We also had some interesting segments. We had Mayor Minch did his big segment on cruising today, told us what's new and what to be excited about in the cruising industry. Rocco talked about a Netflix film, which was interesting, and our Cleared for Takeoff, Rich Kaplan, talked about a plane that went down, but he made some very interesting points and talked about why it went down, and he was all over, did a great job. So very interesting show as we wrap up our last show here at Ponchos. Our next show at Ponchos is all the way to January 6th, 2019. So great job by everybody, and we hope you enjoyed the show tonight, and keep those likes coming. We just passed 3,100 likes on Facebook, Halftime Howie Show. We thank all our supporters for the great support, and keep those likes coming, and be safe and sound during the holiday season. And with that, I'll wrap with this. My name is Halftime. I want to thank you for your time. Please join us next Sunday for another show of Halftime. But at this time, we are out of time. See you next Sunday.